Have you ever heard someone say, "It's my property, I can will it to anybody I like"? Well, that's true, but not completely true in all circumstances. The law gives every man and woman what is called testamentary freedom. That's the right to decide who inherits what from what you have acquired while alive. But here is the part many people don't know. This testamentary freedom is not absolute. It comes with legal and customary exceptions. By law, when writing a will, you cannot completely ignore certain class of people. That's your spouse and your dependents. If you do, the court can step in and tinker with the will. The reason is simple. The law recognizes that death shouldn't be an excuse for irresponsibility for those whom you are responsible for. Take your spouse, for example. Your husband or wife has a right to reasonable financial provisions in your will. It does not matter what you write in your will. If you try to unreasonably shut them out, the court can amend your will. The court can tinker with your will. Now, think of your children. Can a parent disinherit a child? The answer is it depends. If that child is an independent adult living on their own and not dependent on you, yes, the law allows you to exclude them if you so wish. But if the child is a minor or even disabled or had reached adulthood but was still under your financial support before your death, then you cannot lawfully disinherit that child. The court would strike down that part of your will and make some provisions for that dependent child. The same applies if customary law entitles them to any particular property. Your will cannot override that particular customary law entitling any of your children to that particular property. Even aged parents or dependents that you were taking care of before your death have a right to be remembered or to be taken care of in your will. You may recall that the case of late Herbert Wigwe, his parents challenged his will after his sudden death in a helicopter crash. The law gave them a standing to ask for provision in their son's will as it wasn't provided. Now let's talk about customary law. Beyond spouses and dependents, there are properties you cannot validly will away, no matter how much you want to do that. For instance, in Igbo land, we have what is called alobi. That is the ancestral homestead. The principle is clear. Alobi adi ere, alobi adi enye. In other words, in English, that means the family compound land is neither sold nor gifted away. Not even by your will. It belongs to the lineage and must pass to the first sons in that lineage. So, while an Igbo man may freely will out his self-acquired properties, he cannot validly will away the ancestral compound. Any attempt to do so will be voided by the courts. The same rule applies in Bini with what is called Igiobe, the family house of a Bini man, that is the Igiobe. By custom, it passes to the eldest son, no matter how you hate the son. The Supreme Court confirmed this in the landmark case of Ibehen and Ibehen. The late Ibehen, permit me to say, did not like his first son. He willed the Igiobe, that is the property, to his younger sons. The Supreme Court said capital no, thereby upholding the customary right of the first son over that Igiobe, over that property. Despite the will, do you see what is happening here now? The law is creating a balance, a marriage between English testamentary freedom of will and Nigeria custom or customary law. On one hand, you have freedom to write your will, but on the other hand, that freedom is checked by cultural rules that protect cultural and family values. And there is another limitation to your testamentary freedom: public policy and legality. You cannot use your will to do what you could not have legally done while alive. For example, if land was under government acquisition during your lifetime, you cannot magically transfer it in your will. In other words, death does not give you right to do what you could not do while you were alive. Now, why does all this matter to you as a property buyer? Because if you buy land or a house that is the product of a contested will, you may be walking into a serious property trouble. Remember, under these exceptions, the court can withdraw property from one person and give it to another. That means if you innocently buy a property inherited under a disputed will, you could lose both the property and the money you've paid. This is why at Encumbered Properties, we keep sounding the alarm. Don't buy blindly. Always investigate whether the property you are about to buy is the subject of a will. And if so, whether that will is under any form of contest. A will is powerful, but it must be fair and lawful. Otherwise, the courts can tinker with that will. And when courts tinker with a will, buyers are often the ones who pay the price, losing peace of mind, money, sometimes everything. So what should you do? It's very simple. Arm yourself with knowledge before you pay for any property. including those that were depicted on the will. At Encumbered Properties, our mission is to help you avoid these silent but costly mistakes. Remember, had I known is always avoidable. If you truly want to protect yourself, then you need our practical guide, 7 steps to acquiring a clean property title, a practical checklist. This is not theory. It is a step-by-step manual guide that shows you how to identify disputed and illegal real estate offers, the exact questions to ask to expose red flags, the documents you must demand, and how to verify every claim before you part with your hard-earned money. Don't just buy land, buy peace of mind. That is what this guide offers you. The link to download it is in the description to this video. And if you have come across any encumbered or disputed property anywhere around Nigeria, some other person might market it to innocent people without them knowing that the property is disputed or encumbered, kindly do a public service by approaching us with the content and details of such property, and we put it out there for the members of the public to know and remain safe. Or you go straight to encumberedproperties.com and enlist the property there for the members of the public to be aware. All these things we do free of charge, and the content of everything we display on our website is accessible to the members of the public free of charge. If you have found this content helpful, subscribe to the channel for more real estate insights that will help you avoid property scams. I am Madueke Enwere. I'm the Chief Superintendent of Police, a real estate lawyer, and by God's grace, the founder, Encumberedproperties.com. We love you and we care about your real estate investment. Thank you.